Hi, I'm Al Goff.
And I'm Miles Miller.
Hi, this is John Schneider.
Hi, it's John Glover.
This is Justin Hartley.
This is Steve DeKnight.
This is Aaron Ashmore.
This is Cassidy Freeman, and you are listening to Starkville.
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 Starkville, House of L.
Starkville, House of L.
Starkville, House of L.
The podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to Starkville House of L. This is our episode for the Smallville Season 3 episodes, Exile and Phoenix. I am Derek.
I'm Steve.
And with us today, back already, due to popular demand, the Geek of Steel.
Back.
What?
Guess who's back?
Guess who's back? should have. If I was
again.
If I was Steve, I would have played that. Luke Bugg.
Hello, sirs. How are we?
We're well. How are you?
I've been looking forward to this.
Yeah?
I had so much fun last time where it was just sort of a little chat between you and I. We didn't really talk much Smallville. It was everything in between with a little drizzle of Smallville on top. But now I'm ready to come back to talk more Smallville.
You surprised me. You just stayed in the Zoom this whole time. You never left, and I was like, I guess if he's still here, we should have him on again.
Basically, Luke was saying it was a standard episode last time he was.
It's like not much.
There was no Smallville talk. No, not at all.
Luke, we had a podcast for the Terminator series, Terminator: The Sarah Connor Chronicles, back in the day. And,
yes, I remember that. Is it Summer Glau? Is that Summer Glau?
Yes. And a UK.
No, hold on.
Sorry, go ahead.
It was Brian Austin Green.
Let's
get it right.
And Summer Glau.
I don't know who this Summer Glau person is.
A UK magazine reviewed us and gave us a 1-star rating.
Hey, for the Brits, that's not too bad.
And said all they talk about is themselves.
That's what podcasts are they not?
Which nothing could be further from the truth.
No.
We talked all about that show, and it was one of the most boring shows we did until we started talking about everything but
until we actually had fun with it.
What was the magazine called? Can you remember?
Was it Sci-Fi Now? Yeah, it was Sci-Fi Now. Yeah. They weren't coming to us.
Yeah, I'm not sure they're still about anymore, so never mind.
We won. We're still here.
That's right. Geek Out Loud, they gave 2 stars.
I forgot they reviewed your show too.
Yeah.
Well, at least you got 2. We only got 1 for Skynet.
I thought we got more than that. I didn't realize we only got 1 star.
It's over here somewhere. I'll report back. Luke, you have been jet setting, most recently in America for Comic-Con, and then you visited London last week for the Batman. I'm going to murder the name because I've already forgotten what the long title for the exhibit was, so I'm just going to pass it over to you and let you talk about it.
Batman Unmasked, the exhibition. So essentially a really well put together Batman show with props, costumes, and vehicles all from the movies, which was a grand day out. Warner Brothers invited a few sort of the DC family, as we're called, to attend and check it out. It's been in Manchester for a while. Now it's made its way down to London. And yeah, it was immersive, which is fun. I've got a phobia of halls of mirrors. So they had one of those there just for me. That was great. I'm not really scared of them, just that I've got very bad vision. So if I see something reflective, I'm going to walk into it no matter what. But there was.
I see my reflection. I just start swinging.
Not him again. But yeah, no, it was a great show. They had a great sort of a display of all the different Batman cowls, starting with Keaton and going all the way down to what looked like an empty cubicle at the end. And it was actually, when you get really close, it was a little Batman Lego head just on a little pike, which was a nice little touch. But yeah, a really well put exhibition. It was a great day out. And then as we traveled through the gift shop at the end, my buddy was like, you seen that down the end? And I was like looking past everyone, and there was just a huge poster for Superman, for James Gunn's Superman. My first sighting of a poster in the wild. And that went online pretty sharpish and got quite a bit of attention.
You've never seen a poster until then?
Not at all. Yeah, we're very laid back here in the UK. We're still going on pigeons and stuff. little bit of Morse code and semaphore. No posters just yet. But no, my first poster for the new Superman movie.
They're just now promoting Batman 66 over there. So
I like the idea. I like the idea of everyone in the UK just having a perch where the pigeons land and they unroll a little thing and there's just a little picture of like upcoming movies. You know, they're like Superman.
It's movie phone. It's
fast,
pigeon.
yeah.
It's movie pigeon. It's just,
They're quite slow though. We've only just got Romance in the Stone. So that's fun.
Welcome to Movie Pigeon.
It just you
Cool
push
once.
you push its tummy and it just starts talking to you. Oh well, yes.
But yeah, it was
ahead.
a great day out, and seeing. I mean, it was all fantastic. But being the big Superman fan that I am, seeing that poster at the end and seeing it sort of, like, oh, this is, it's actually happening. That was exciting for me.
With the date and everything, and yes, you went super viral for that.
Yeah,
one
I thought that was gonna, if it goes live, it's gonna go off there pretty quick. And sort of, I had a few messages saying that's fake. You've photoshopped that.
What?
I'm not that good at Photoshop, so don't worry about that. But yeah, it did well. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you were standing in front of it for the
scale purposes.
Yes.
I don't put my face online too often, but in that one, I was like, I need to get a scale for size.
It's a good face. It's a good face.
And I will ask very nicely if once they're done with that, I can keep it somewhere very safe for years to come.
I guess you could wallpaper the backside of your house with it.
Yeah.
Steve, I not to deter, but I just want to mention for a moment we've done very well consecutively these last few weeks putting out episodes.
Right, one back to back.
Yeah, good for us. Not to break our arm, pat ourselves.
Yeah, listen, don't jinx it.
No, I don't want to jinx it. I do want to say I'm enjoying your George R.R. Martin cosplay, and I've
the hat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Years ago, as a child, my granddad wore hats like this, and I always said I'd like to wear a hat like that. And when he passed away, my mother got one of his hats and gave to me, but it was way too small for my head, and because I've got a big head. Mm-hmm. And so time passes, and I just remembered, like, a few years ago, I'm like, I remember I wanted to wear hats like that instead of just baseball caps all the time. And so we found a few places where you could get some good, nice flat caps like this, and I started wearing them. And like for the longest time, we'd go in a place. Like I was in a place one time, and a dude said, "Hey, are you Dom DeLuise?"
Yes, I am.
And I said, he's dead.
It's just doing Cannonball Run 3.
But thank you for that. And the guy laughed. He's like, "No, I knew he's dead. You just look like him." I'm like, "Okay, thank you, sir."
Well, then you should have been far more concerned, sir, if you thought he was dead.
Yeah. My great, but I'm like, that's a great thing. And then I saw George R.R. Martin, and I'm like, oh
no,
thank you.
Oh,
that's a shame.
So.
No, you see, you're rocking it well. I'd say it was more a bit like the old Peaky Blinders show.
Yes.
And I mean, because those flat caps are they called newsboy caps in America? Or
there's different styles of them, and the Newsboys caps has a button on the top of it, and they're a little more rounded, a couple more panels. This is just a one panel flat cap. This is closer to what a Peaky Blinders cap would be.
Yeah.
So I've got some that look like the Peaky Blinders with that houndstooth. Design.
Yeah, my granddad used to wear those sort of types of flat caps as well, sort of with the sort of almost tartan Burberry style on the top. It was a classic granddad hat, and all my memories of my granddad were with one of those special little hats. I think I've got a few again, but my head is far too big for those caps as well. We are sticking together.
BostonScally.com. Sci-Fi Now reporting on Starkville House of
joke. You stole everything was going to go silent, and I was going to go, I can't imagine why Sci-Fi Now ever gave us 1 star.
This is a good chat. What are you talking about? It's hats. It's hats and posters and pigeons. What's going on?
Hats and posters and pigeons. Oh, my.
We
are here to, after 19 years, we finally reached season 3. So that's fantastic. Of Smallville. We started at the end of season 5 originally, moving forward, and now we're looping back around. Steve and I have been slowly chipping away at it in our availability, but now we're in the meat of it, I would say, because I think this is still, looking back, probably season 3 is my second favorite season of the series. Everyone likes to call it the dark season. Everything kind of got a little
That's
muddy.
because of that REM episode.
Because of that REM episode, which we'll be discussing next week, which is the best worst episode of the series, ladies and gentlemen. Slumber is a fantastic hour of television, and I'll fight anybody. I'll put on Steve's hat and fight anybody that says otherwise.
On my hat to do it.
I might. I'll take care of it. I'm bald.
Right. But I'm just saying you don't have to put on my hat to do it. You can kick anyone's butt without a hat on.
You dang right I can. All right.
Yeah. That's the point. What Luke neglected to mention was in one of those cases at the Batman exhibit was just a sculpt of Derek's head.
It's just that in marble as well, which was very nice.
Shinier than it normally is.
That's it. It was beautiful.
Yeah, Steve, do you like my hat today since we're talking about hats?
I can't really. Let me put on my glasses to make out what it says.
You got glasses on glasses there.
Yeah. I can't make out what it says.
That's a Three Amigos hat, sir.
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
That's nice. I'm jealous of it for sure.
Exile, the 45th episode of the series of Smallville.
Let me tell you, the Three Amigos, one of the greatest films of all time. Now,
I'm on brand. Season 3, Three Amigos, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Yes.
I'm trying. Exile was the season premiere of season 3, like I said, 45th episode overall, written by Alan Miles, directed by the great Greg Beeman. I almost said the late Greg Beeman. I don't know why I said that. He's still with us. Dom DeLuise dead. Greg Beeman's still alive. Okay, we're all on the same page now.
Got it.
This is a 4-part movie. We talked about this a little bit last week. When you go from Calling to Exodus in the end of season 2 and then ramp into, we had to wait an entire summer to find out what was going to happen. But when you get into season 3 with Exile and Phoenix, one is to be continued after the other, which is the only time in Smallville history where this many to be continueds follow one another. It really is kind of a 4-hour film.
Well, did not Alan Miles both say after that kind of happened, they're like, we don't want to do this to be continued into another thing too much anymore. Like they felt like it had gotten too serialized with 4 episodes in a row that were
May very well have. I can't remember that, but I would believe it. I mean, it really is. I mean, you can't. These are not standalone watches at all.
No,
like a majority of the series had been up until this point, because so many of the Freak of the Weeks and everything had just been that. Now, Luke, your love for Superman actually came out of Smallville, so I want to know what your memories of these 2 episodes are.
I think, as you said about that 4-part film, it was like, I've got to wait another week. I've got to wait another week and make sure that I watch this episode before the next one. It was always in the UK. We weren't guaranteed the next series. We weren't guaranteed that English TV would get it. So, but thanks to certain websites back in the day, we could guarantee that we were going to get at least the next episode. But for me, I preferred the Freak of the Week, as you put it. It's having that start, middle, and end. You've not got to worry about knowing what's going to happen in the next episode. But looking back, when we've got all the Blu-rays and DVDs, you can watch those, and it is like a movie. It is fun to watch that particular story continue, and with all the twists and turns that happen. But I went back today and watched these episodes a couple of hours ago, and I was like, yeah, I can see why it wasn't to be continued, but I'm glad that trend didn't continue for too long.
Steve, what about you? Was this was post season 2 DVD for you? Well, no, I guess not post season 2 DVD because the season 2 DVD had not come out.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure when those.
Let's do a little digging on that.
I think it's time to get the final word on that.
Yeah.
But I do remember this was appointment television, and I finally had friends to watch with when this episode aired. So I think it was Smallville had moved to Wednesdays, so I had to record it, bring it to my friend's house, and we watched it. And man, it's just like I just remember being in awe of what they were doing. Because they had done this. They had gone from this quaint little show about high school kids to now there's a man in a mask standing in front of a bank getting shot up, bulletproof wise, and a whole train song being played at one point. So, which is my only criticism and has been for all these years, is that
the use of train.
No, not the use of train, but the fact that they really the music editing in that moment, because they just said, just hit play on the song and let's let it go as long as it can. It's a weird kind of, it doesn't flow well, the editing of that whole sequence of her showing up and finding him, and like they just keep playing Calling All Angels.
It's like it's playing on the speakers of the building that they
they put it on repeat on the jukebox. But
right.
the Smallville music has always been one of my big things about the show, was the music was always spot on. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that didn't really. It's a band that I do have all the songs on the iPod that I've got hidden away somewhere. That's got all my Smallville lists and playlists on.
I like
there
that
were lots
shirt.
of bands. Thank you. To represent today. There were lots of bands that I'd never heard of before when watching Smallville, but it was always for me, because this was the show that I love. I want to get more into it and listen to the bands more. And there were some fantastic songs that I discovered through Smallville. But that one, as you said, it didn't seem to fit quite well there.
Early.
Well, it was like literally the editing of it all was just strange the way they let it play out. Normally you'd hit a hook on a song and have it play for a few seconds and then roll on. This was, I need a sign to help me know it, and it just kept on and kept on and kept on. And it lowered in the background while they did a little dialogue, and then I'm calling all angels, and it's just like, what? We got something. You could do something. Like I just expected more in that moment. Now, that's my only negative thing to say about the whole episode, but it's one of those things that really stuck out to me. And the statute of limitation on murder never runs out.
Yeah.
Great line delivery by John Glover there.
Smallville Season 2 DVD released May 18th, 2004, so right as this season ended.
Yeah.
And in the US, Region 2 was September 17th, 2004.
But the Season 1 DVD was out at this point.
Yes. But they did start to stack. It wasn't until I believe this Season 3 when we were like the summer after. Like there was a couple of times, I think maybe Season 5 and Season 6, the week of the premiere,
right?
The DVD would come out. That was a big week.
Wow.
That was a big week.
Wow.
Yeah,
I bet.
Of it all.
But
I guess what I'd done is I'd gotten the Season 1 DVD, loaned it to my friends so they could know Season 1, and I had on videotape the high points of Season 2. And so it's like, here's the ones you need to see. Clark jumping off the roof. Rosetta, season finale. That
those three.
That's it.
That's it. Nothing else.
Right. So that was. So yeah, I think that as far as, like you said, a 4-part movie goes, these especially, like these 2 episodes especially, they're very distinct. Because of the way that the Phoenix kind of starts out, and you're in the whole Lex brain thing, but you had all of this first episode, Exile, really doing what we wanted to do, I guess, and focusing primarily on Clark and what he was going through, and so we wanted to see. I mean, there's some heart-wrenching moments when he gets in the booth and rips off the shirt, and the 8 is glowing, and he calls. And he just picks up the phone and calls, because he takes the ring off and calls home. And Jonathan and Martha are like, Clark, is that you? Is that, and he just listens. And you see, Tom Welling did a great job of just emoting so well in that moment. And then the whole, we will have happy days again, Martha, and all that, that little speech and everything. It was just, it was heart-wrenching. It was everything you wanted it to be. And there were some significant consequences that kind of lasted a little ways from these 2 episodes.
Several things. I mean, as far-reaching as, you could say as far-reaching as the entire series, but at least Season 5. Yeah, definitely. We do pick up 3 months later after the events of Exodus. Clark is now Cal, living in Metropolis after putting on the red kryptonite ring. And tearing up the town. I mean, he's stealing from ATMs. He's buying cars that he can't afford or shouldn't be able to afford with bags full of cash. He's taking beautiful women to clubs and then ditching them.
And the car.
And the car.
He gives the car away straight away to the valet guy. He's like, oh yeah, I've just robbed all this money. Here you go.
I love how much you find out from the opening sequence without ever being told. I mean, you've got the classic through the globe and down shot of the Daily Planet to open with. So establishing Metropolis, establishing, him in black and still being the bad boy version of himself, driving over the newspaper with rest in peace Lex. So he's believed to be dead at this point. And yeah, they really just don't even waste any time getting into it.
But what is highlighted here is the incredibly poor detective work of the Metropolis PD.
That's a shame. Yeah, ATMs didn't have cameras in 2003. I think they did, didn't they? I feel like they did.
Sure, they did. But not only that, just the whole idea of, okay, who bought this car, with this cash, and like Clark. The thing is Clark's not being very inconspicuous about anything.
No.
No, not at all.
And,
he's not trying to.
So you get the sense, right? And so you get the sense that it's pretty easy to figure out who this cat is, based on his idiocy. But then the show would be over, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
I do love you mentioned the calling Martha scene. I do love it happens in a phone booth, of course.
Yes.
Which they still
the whole shirt rip, like you get a shirt rip and everything.
Yeah. You get which would, I think even Craig said on last week's episode, which would be in the opening credits throughout the remainder of the series.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yes, it is.
Always utilized. Who all do we, and we get introduced to so many, Morgan Edge.
Yes.
Maggie Sawyer. No, we've already been introduced to Maggie at this point, but she returns for this episode. Some fantastic. I mean, Rutger Hauer as your villain for the episode, for these two episodes.
Budget wise, I don't know how they pulled that one off, but that was.
Well, and this is less than 2 years before he would be in Batman Begins, as well. So. I know I mentioned this some in season 2, but it's been a while, so I'll reiterate. I do miss, when watching back in this first half of the series, I do miss these original opening credits sequences. I feel like they're a whole lot more nostalgic for me than the season 5 onward.
I was going to say season 5 is when they started looking into the fan, right?
Yeah,
with the hair blown back.
Spinny.
Yeah.
Thing. I say more nostalgic. Those are memorable too. I remember the night Arrival season 5 premiered aired, and they misspelled Kristen's name on the screen. Yeah.
Did they?
Yep.
Did that get left?
It got It was KRISTEN instead of KRISTIN or strike that, reverse it.
Someone's getting in trouble for that.
Yeah. So only aired. Yeah, it was EN. So they misspelled it EN. And I forget. I'd have to refer to Craig. I forget the whole story on those. But a company actually offered to do those for free, which is why they updated, because they didn't have the budget for that.
You get what you pay for.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's it.
But it only happened one time at one airing, of which
there was another spelling mistake in this episode though at the beginning.
Oh, really?
Hands down from the Talon, and it's an open mic night, but it's open MIKE. So I'm not sure if that's sort of an Easter egg for somebody that called Mike on the show, but I always thought it was an MIC for open.
That's Mike. Well, he comes by the Talon weekly.
And he's very open.
Yeah. Exactly. What open mic is he sits down in front of everybody and he just expresses fully what's going on in his heart and mind.
It's a live game of operation.
I want tickets for that. I want to go to that. That sounds like my kind of night, as awkward as you could possibly be.
No, wait a minute. Hold on.
Don't touch the sides.
Derek went operation. Derek went to physically opening up Mike and pulling out the funny bone. That deal. Whatever. That's the only piece of the butterflies in the stomach. That was another one on operation.
I would go deeper.
My Lex has a operation game that's Last Jedi. Sorry, Steve. And I didn't mean to trigger.
And basically, you just ruined the movie.
Shut up. But it's either Chewbacca and Porgs on the box, but I can't remember if you're operated on Chewbacca or a Porg. I think you're operated on a Porg. But he just likes to get the tweezers and make the noise the whole time.
Ooh.
Chewbacca operated on a Porg.
That's right. He ate one. Sir.
He did.
Another thing this episode gives us, again, Sci-Fi Now, 2 stars, really, is an establishing shot of Metropolis when we come back from the title sequence that will be utilized through the remainder of the series.
Yeah.
Like you said, when there is stuff from this that it's like we have this episode.
Well, I meant plot stuff.
Well, no, I mean it's true though. We do have this.
I didn't mean show assets.
I didn't mean saving money. I'm just
talking about like the creative side of things.
Look, I was watching. I've been ripping. I was telling Luke before we started recording off air. I found my old season 5 recordings from TV, and I've been slowly ripping them all. They've got all the commercials and everything.
Yes.
And I was ripping Lockdown, which is the one before Reckoning, where Lex and Lana get kidnapped. Mm-hmm. And when Clark comes in and saves Lana during the explosion, which then becomes the picture that Lionel shows to that whole thing. Before he shows up, when he super speeds in, they just lifted an entire sequence from Hidden of him super speeding in and then put it into this episode, and then has him super speed out from the lifted sequence into the explosion. And I don't know if I just forgot that or what. I was like, that's all from Hidden.
Which one is Hidden?
Missile.
Oh.
If you're just joining us, Clark Kent has been shot.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what did they lift from that as far as the super speed goes?
When he super speeds out of the fortress to the cornfield and like stops and looks off in the distance, and that whole thing is him super speeding in. I'm like, that's how you save money, right?
That's
there.
right.
Don't pull it from another season. Pull it from a few episodes earlier. We won't notice that at all.
No.
Well, we didn't. I didn't.
No, you have now. Thanks for that.
Yeah. Thanks, Derek.
I've ruined it for all.
Thanks for ruining the magic. Really appreciate that.
Do I not remember like the whole fire effect? Didn't he run through the fire and grab Lana and
like parts the fire coming through it and lifts her up? Yeah.
I mean, I'll take that. That's fine.
No, it's good. I mean, that's not lifted. Just everything leading up to that is.
Yeah.
The bank is being robbed. We mentioned the Insane Clown Posse at the outset, which is we've come to find out is
supposed to be an homage to the Joker.
Yeah, pre-Dark Knight.
It was very similar.
And they didn't mind killing some people in this either. They straight up murdered some of these folks.
Yeah, the security guard got the got the rough end of a couple of bullets.
Now, Cal, you do have super speed at your disposal as well as strength. You thought the best way to enter the scene was via motorcycle.
Cal's bad.
A choice. It's not even Jonathan's motorcycle.
No,
it's just a motorbike. Do we ever? Does the motorcycle come home? Do we ever see it again? I don't think we ever see it again after this episode.
Do we not?
I don't think so. So thanks, Clark. You killed the baby and you lost the Jonathan's motorcycle.
Yeah, it's just a red K thing. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's that and bikes.
This is really when we kind of started getting into, and I guess this is why we will say goodbye to him later on in this season. What do we do with Pete?
Yeah.
Which was a lot of the what do we do with Lana up until this point. But, Sam Jones III's only got a handful of scenes, really. But the exposition that comes out of it, we do find out that the farm is being foreclosed on. You can only get so many truck flips before the insurance won't hold you up anymore. Steve, we went an entire episode last time and did not count that truck flip.
No, we didn't.
There's 3-season streak, and we did not count that one. I don't even know if we talked about the Veritas window or not, but I certainly didn't count the truck flip.
No, I didn't either. I forgot to talk about it. It's a sideways flip though.
It is a sideways flip.
It's very
aggressive.
Very, Very impressive stunt. Yeah.
I said aggressive, but yeah, impressive too.
The Pete thing is really is glaring when you bring it up. Like, I know that season 3 is when he leaves, and of course I hate the Pete driving episode, the Pete racing episode, the Pete and the Furious, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he's got a great exit. The
Fast and the Fury Ross.
Yeah, Fast and the Fury Ross. Hey,
There you go.
there he is. Take your stars and shove it, sci-fi now. But yeah, it's unfortunate because Clark doesn't have anyone to share that secret with until Chloe, really in season 5. When he knows that she knows, and we know that he knows that she knows.
Joey, you can't tell anybody.
I couldn't if I wanted to.
If I wanted to.
But yeah, it's a sad thing because I like the Pete Clark dynamic when Clark, and maybe that's part of this season's darkness is like you never get to see Clark and Pete really just hang out and laugh, anymore. Like the give me some of that popcorn kind of scene, that kind of thing, and so. Yeah, I think that just kind of adds to the downerness of this whole season.
Well, and I mean, it literally ends the last we see of Pete. He's just gotten the crap kicked out of him. I mean, by the end of it, and then we don't see him again for 4 seasons in what is arguably one of the worst episodes of the series. They really did him wrong bringing him back for the Stride Gum episode, and not
old stretchy Pete,
not for a multitude of other things that they could have brought him back for. I mean, I always thought. He could have been Martha's campaign manager.
Yeah.
I mean, the wedding. One of the most infuriating things to me about the finale, and everybody has their own opinions about the finale, whether or not they like it. And I want to. There's something I want to talk about the finale here shortly as we get into Phoenix. But there's literally nobody in that room they know at the wedding. They've got Martha's sitting there and Ghost Jonathan, and then the one intern guy from the Daily Planet, and then Oliver and Chloe are up there, and that's it. They don't know anybody else at that ceremony.
This is uncomfortable. Was Pete in jail at this point? Was Sam Jones III in jail?
I can't remember when that duration happened.
Because he had some drug charges.
I do remember that. But I don't think so, because I remember thinking even at the time, it was like, they could have at least... But I mean, how do you fit... You can't really fit cameos into... I mean, I know you got Schneider there.
Just have him sitting on the pew, just turn around, hey.
That's
quick hug.
Quick hug.
Yeah.
Car park in the garage, that's it, yeah.
Lana's out the window because she can't come in because of the kryptonite.
But then when everything goes to pot, like as Clark's getting ready to go, Pete says... Go get him, Clark, or something like that, just to kind of, to just establish that, hey, he's here, he's got Clark's back always and forever. Yeah.
Well, just do a pickup shot of him, when he's moving Apocalypse out of orbit. Just Pete's in, Bloodhaven or wherever the heck he.
And he can do the way to go, Clark. He can do like the Jimmy Olsen,
Yeah.
Way to go, Superman.
We fixed it for you, but there you go. All these years later. We do get, it's about halfway through the episode before we join Lex on the island with his newfound friend, Louis Leary. A lot of LLs in the Superman.
A lot of LLs, always with the alliteration, which I'm a fan of, but yeah.
Yeah. But Lex and Louis aren't getting along after 3 months together on the island. Lex clearly is not well. And we find out even more so by the end of the episode that he has malaria and is suffering a mental break, which, again, as Steve mentioned, will come back to haunt as this season continues. We do... I completely lost my train of thought there. But we do find out that Helen is alive and well and has been bought off. Yes.
Well,
yes.
There's a whole scene that goes. Okay, there's a whole scene that goes on at the funeral that's just one of the most. Number one, what a weird spot for a funeral. Number two, the way that she comes
correctly, that's like in the courtyard of a bank. or something. I can't remember.
I love that. I love that Lionel's like, I'm not going to sit here and watch you play the part of the grieving widow, and like leaves his own son's funeral.
He just walks out.
Yeah,
just walks
I'm
off.
out.
Yeah.
Cal did have the fortitude to show up for Lex's funeral.
Right.
At least briefly before Lana spots him and he disappears.
Cue the train.
Martha and Jonathan, of course, are there as well. We do find out Chloe has known pretty much all along through the duration of the summer that Clark has been in Metropolis and been keeping it from everybody. Lana especially, but Martha and Jonathan included.
And so this is where, because we talked about last time with Chloe, like we're done with her because y'all were done with her because she, went whining to Lionel or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, when I saw this, I kind of like wiped the sweat on my brow because I, because I was a big Chloe fan back in the day, and so to know that she had not betrayed Clark, even though it's still a very irresponsible and irrational thing to do. I'm not going to tell your parents. I'm not going to tell the people that you love or claim to love. I'll keep your secret, Clark. I'll keep you hidden, and she had her reasons and everything, but it's still kind of selfish on her part. But it was also, is there any redemption for her not ratting out Clark to Lionel? I mean,
to me, no.
No. Okay.
Luke, what say you?
I mean, I had seasons where I really liked the whole will they, won't they, and Chloe's feelings for Clark. And then there was some when she was just a little bit...
Luke, that's our time. We appreciate you coming on.
But there were times when the whininess was getting a little bit too much. And this one, it seemed to be there was a little bit of gaslighting between her and Lana in this episode. Of like, oh, I know his secret, but you don't, sort of thing. So this is one of those episodes where I wasn't really a team Chloe for sure.
I started Team Chloe. Now I was never a shipper. I was never a Clarker.
Clois, yeah.
Yeah. I'm Clois all the way, and I knew she would never become Lois Lane. But I never wanted them together. I was always fine with Clark and Lana as long as it served. I mean, that's canon. I mean, that's Clark in Smallville. That's Lana Lang. That's Superman 3. That's comics. That's I know that, and always really was fine with that because I knew it would never be in game. Now, did it go on in the show for far too long? Absolutely. And again, I always have to say that is of no fault of Kristen's. Any controversy or complaints I have over the character of Lana Lang do not reflect that of Kristen Kruk. It is always how she was utilized, how the character of Lana was utilized in the series, for better or worse, more often than not. But
at what point did you think that it became worse?
That's a good question, Steve. I was always would have always once the series ended and you look back on stuff, I was always like, had she gone to Paris and not come back maybe for a little while, I'd have been fine.
Mm-hmm.
Because they make such a big deal of her leaving and then she just comes right back, and then there's the whole witch,
right?
The whole witch story. But I feel like she should, again, as a result of Lana, not as a result of Kristen, before the shippers come at us, I feel like her storyline could have been wrapped up far earlier than what it was. Because once you get into her and Lex getting married, and
that's where I felt like they crossed the line, was her and Lex getting married in season 6.
Yeah,
really.
Especially after he's Zod. After Lex is Zod and they get together,
right?
It's just like,
in my estimation, what should have happened is she finds out maybe in season 5 about Clark, and then she leaves because Clark, I can't stay in Smallville. There's, you've got this amazing thing, and you're going to leave one day, but I've got to go now.
I've got to find my story.
Got to find my story, and then you don't end up with the weird marriage stuff. You still bring Oliver in season 6, so you lose a bit of a subplot there. You lose a bit of a a storyline, but I don't think the Lex Lana storyline was very successful.
No.
Anyway.
I always thought one of the greatest disservices Reckoning, the 100th episode, did was reverse her finding out.
Absolutely.
Now, it's a huge part of the episode as to why, because then Lex finds out that she finds out whatever Clark is hiding and chases her down, and that's part of why he then decides to protect her, and that's the final wedge between them once Jonathan died, time is reversed and Jonathan dies, that Lana not knowing is literally pushes her toward flatlining. Flatliners reference there for you later on in season 5 when she's taking drugs to
the drug episode
get to death to find her parents because she's so distraught over losing Clark and everything, and it's like it could have, especially once Lois is there in season 4, there's other things that Lana could have got on and done, but it works for these episodes because they just got together. You've had 2 seasons of Will They Won't They, and literally end on a cliffhanger of them being together, and then this happens.
When I just come back to this, Derek, I know that you've always been a little bit more of a cinephile than me, and movies and stuff a little better. That just means
I like cinnamon a lot. I'm a huge cinnamon fan.
Yes,
everybody knows.
But I'll be honest, like Rutger Hauer being on this episode did not really register with me because I wasn't really super familiar with his work. I don't know about you, Luke, but
for me it was big.
Okay.
Big sci-fi fan. I was hoping for a scene in the rain. We didn't get that. No. We didn't get that sort of a Blade Runner moment. But he's obviously aged a lot since Blade Runner. But I thought I knew of his name back then. I was sort of at that time I was in college studying film, so Blade Runner was a big part of my life back then. Is now still. So to have him as such a iconic character in the world of Superman was for me a big pull. It was very exciting to see that name pop up.
And see, I never cared about Blade Runner. That was never my cup of tea. And so him being there, I knew that a lot of people were making a big deal about it, but there was nothing he'd ever done that was really on my radar. Derek, I don't know where you were at that point.
Yeah. I knew who he was. I remember thinking it was a good get. I hated that when Morgan Edge returns, it wasn't him. Later in the season due to the plastic surgery, which is a great. I'm always a huge fan of that trope. That's one
works
of my,
well sometimes.
Yeah, that's one of my Steve's favorite trope is when people get run down by a vehicle off screen. An off screen vehicle out of nowhere.
Suddenly, just a out of nowhere vehicle
to it. And one of mine is whatever I just said. Plastic surgery. I was reading and I forgot. That was the thing. I like to read through some of the notes over on Smallville Wiki while reading this one, and this one just caught my eye. When Clark is asked about his birthmark in the bar early on, I forget where the line is, where he says, "My dad's a real bastard." No, it's when Morgan Edge. It's in the apartment, and when this reran on ABC Family and syndication, they cut out that line. There was no.
What do they use instead? I don't know. To do that.
I don't know. It doesn't say. There's no.
I always like those. I mean, on English TV after 8 o'clock at night, you can get away with most swear words. Most he says, but yeah, whenever I'm watching American TV and I'll see a film come on that I know like word for word, and they change out a cuss with something completely different that starts with the same letter. I'm like, spotted that one.
That wasn't it. I got my hands on a copy of Ghostbusters broadcast on from 1988, I think, on CBS here in the States. And it's all of the scenes, you'll appreciate this, Steve, that would in any way be deemed inappropriate for network Saturday night, Sunday night television or sometimes they'll do this. They're altered scenes. They're altered takes.
Yeah.
So, the whole we were fine until Dickless here shut off the containment unit. All that's gone has been changed. Is this true? To something else. Yes, it's true. Instead of Yes, it's true. This man has no dick. Bill Murray says, yes, it's true. This man's some kind of a rodent. I'm not sure which. Like something from the rat family or something like that. I love takes.
Excuse me, General. Haven't you heard of freedom of the press? That kind of a lame thing, yeah.
According to Talkville last year, when they covered this episode, Rosenbaum mentioned that he improvised his lines on the island and quoted from his favorite childhood movie, Jaws. When Lewis ruins the bonfire, Lex quotes Roy Scheider saying, "That's great. That's just great." And the crew accepted Rosenbaum's take. So,
okay.
There you go.
There was I don't know if it was an homage or not, but there was a moment where the camera zooms into Lex's eye.
Yeah.
And it was exactly the same as the first episode of Lost.
Yeah.
I was like, more people stuck on an island and seeing other people that don't exist. That's a fun little link there.
Was Lost a thing at this point?
Not yet.
It was, I think it was a couple of years after, wasn't it?
04, so the next year. I just noticed I've got this pulled up large over here, and the Calling All Angels scene is playing out before me. And so when Lotta gets on the motorcycle, hold on.
I did like that.
When Lotta gets on the motorcycle and has a shot of them pulling out, that's Kristen on the back of the bike, but that's not Tom.
He's got huge hair. His hair is like twice the size.
If I've ever noticed that before, I've missed it.
Well, Welling said he can't drive a motorcycle.
Yeah.
So when you see him on it, if it's a close-up, he's either being pulled on a trailer type situation or he's going really, really slow.
Yeah. I think when he had the red K in the other episode, like he pulls up at Kent Farm just very slowly on gravel. You can see he's quite sort of quite nervous about riding
Wobbly.
it. Bless him.
What ends up happening here is Lana does track him down, like I said, Calling All Angels sequence. Thanks to Chloe. She calls Martha and Jonathan to tell them that she's found Clark. Clark finds out she's on the phone talking to Martha and Jonathan, has a very curt phone call with them, and this is what finally makes Jonathan decide to take matters into his own hands. I mean, Clark could have just left Metropolis. I'm not really sure why he felt the need to stay. If everybody was finding out where he was, he'd just be like, all right, I'm just going to go somewhere else.
I mean, even though he's on Red K and he's doing a lot of grown-up things, he's still a kid. Like, I think that's kind of the thing. Like, he is never really the smartest guy in the room in any of this show until you get later on into the series. Clark is always, even with all his inhibitions gone, there's still this naivete about him. You know, he's going head to head with a crime boss, you know, like Morgan Edge. He thinks he's got the upper hand just because of his physicality. He's not thinking with his head. So if you say he could just leave Metropolis, okay. Clark ain't thought about leaving Metropolis. He hasn't run with Bart out to California yet, you know, that kind of thing. So I just imagine in his young brain, it doesn't even occur to him that there's somewhere else other than Metropolis to go.
Yeah. Once Jonathan does decide that he's going to go after him, though, that they've got a location on him now, he heads to make a deal with the devil, as it were. He takes the key from the toolbox in the barn and heads to the cave to talk to Jor-El. I mean, this is what ultimately kills him. If you want to look at it that way. I mean, I in my opinion.
Yeah, no, it was definitely the start of it, wasn't it?
Yeah,
That's what.
Yeah, I mean,
all this led up to that.
Jonathan never had heart issues before that, but we know what the toll that having Clark's abilities takes on his body once they're removed from him. Because Jor-El asks him, he said, "Are you willing to sacrifice anything to have?"
Yeah, but doesn't later on he say that I told Jor-El I would take you back to him when the time was right?
Yes. Like legacy.
That was the price that he was talking about paying.
Well, I think it was kind of twofold, because I think that this is. I mean, I know that we get into season 5 and it's the life force returned to you will be traded for another, but obviously this is a catalyst for that because Jonathan does die of a heart attack in the arms of Martha and Clark when the time comes in the 100th episode. But the reason he has the bad heart is because of this bout with Jor-El and Clark.
Yep.
Super Bowl.
By the way, one of the most awesome moments in Smallville, is when John's like, "You're coming with me."
Oh, I remember.
yeah.
Listen,
Yeah,
I remember
I was like,
that night.
oh.
I remember that happened. It immediately cuts to commercial, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
It cuts to be continued.
Yeah. Well, just them going out the window.
Going out the window. I can. Yeah, there's a few moments when I would like get really excited about like a Clark punch or someone kicking off, but it was in that moment where you see him really get flung against the wall, and you're thinking, okay, well that's clearly the end of Mr. Kent. That smashed his spine into a million pieces. But then like he gets up and he's like, "You're coming home with me, son."
Yeah.
Like, here we go. It's gonna get good.
And takes him out the window.
A very exciting moment.
I remember everybody calling him Super Bo back in the day.
Yeah.
That's a 20-year-old reference for you there. So yes, now we get into Phoenix, which is the 46th episode of this series, episode 302, written by Kelly Souders and Brian Peterson, who would go on to be showrunners in the final season of the series, directed by James Marshall and aired October 8th, 2003, almost 21 years ago. And we literally pick up right where we left off with Clark and Jonathan falling. I love that they don't hit the ground. They fall through that light fixture and then into the inner bowels of Luther Court Plaza underneath this factory and have this amazing fight sequence that holds up. You say what you will about Smallville 2 decades later, but these 2 episodes hold up.
It reminded me, I think, is it Rocky V when he has the street fight?
Yeah.
It was like that. And it went super slow-mo, and I was like, why is it going super slow-mo for no reason? And then you see Mr. Kent just like, he goes in for a street fight tackle and grabs Clark's jeans and spins him and then throws him into this, I think, the bags of cement. And I was like, that's a move that you don't pick up in like legitimate fighting. Like Mr. Kent's got he's got some back history there of being a bad boy still.
Yeah, he was.
I love that.
He was a roughneck back in the day, and I just want to say thank you so much for a Rocky V reference.
Oh, you're very welcome. It's one of my favorites. But it was that. I think that fight went on for about 20 minutes. That street fight, but this one, father and son going at it. It's always something that's quite symbolic when you get movies and TV shows. But it's like they're there now. They've both got this power, and
Luke,
they went for it.
The pride swelling up in Steve Glosson's eyes right now. I can't comment on enough.
Will you be my best friend?
I think we already are, but why particularly right now, Steve? What have I said that's triggered this?
When I said thank you for the Rocky V reference, and you said it's one of my favorites, I'm like, it's really? Underrated. People treat Rocky V like crap, man, and I think
it hits. And there's that particular part when he's laying all the body shots, and it goes, and it doesn't stop. I'm like, yeah, give him a couple more. It's a fantastic, in the series, it's one of my favorite moments. That and the robot.
Yeah. No, that and the robot. All right. Well, man, you Brits are weird. I love it.
Thank you so much. I might not speak for the majority, but yeah, I've got quite an eclectic taste when it comes to certain scenes that stay in my head.
I'll give Rocky V I didn't hear no bell. It's got that going for it, but otherwise, otherwise Tommy can go to hell. I don't care about Tommy.
But yeah, no.
Oh wait, he's dead, isn't he? I'm sorry, Steve.
Yeah, he's dead. I was like, that's a little harsh.
Oh dear.
Rocky IV ends and goes straight into Balboa 20 years later, as far as I'm concerned.
But no, going back to it, yeah, the fight between Mr. Kent and Clark was a very exciting moment, going from the smashing of the glass and going down into that fight scene, and then that moment when you're like, go on then, you've got the power to kill me, son. What are you going to do?
I love the implications that Clark does carry over with him once he has returned home, because we see once Morgan Edge tracks him down at the farm, he doesn't play. He rips that, in the past when somebody shows up and threatens Clark, he's defensive, but I think about like Nixon and, people like that in previous seasons, and he's, he'll punch a post when they leave, knock down a column or something. But to rip the door off of Edge's limousine, pull him out, and tell him to take his ass back to Metropolis, down the road back to Metropolis, I'm like, yeah, I could get used to this.
Yeah, but again, you're dealing with a kid who doesn't understand. Just like with the Fagin stuff, like every time he thought he had one up on him, Morgan Edge didn't get where he was at by being intimidated by, a big old thug.
Yeah, This is true.
Yeah, he's often quite a few steps ahead. But I like those moments when, whether it be in the comics or in films, when you see that Superman moment where he's close to breaking point, where he knows that he's got the power over the physicality of that, as you said, not potentially the intelligence, but he's stronger than somebody else, and he likes to show people that. It's moments like that, and that wonderful scene in The Adventures of Lois and Clark. It's moments when you see Superman let loose, sort of thing. But every other time, I think in Smallville, when someone has come to the farm, happens quite a fair bit, and they're trying to find out more information about Clark. He's quite quiet, and he's not too rushed. But in that moment, it was like, yeah, door's coming off. He's being pulled out. I don't care about any repercussions. Don't mess about with the family, sort of thing. I like those moments.
Once we find out Lex has made his way back to Metropolis, I love he comes in on Lionel. Lionel is standing in his office looking at the broken window, which is something that happens on this show a lot. Although usually it's the glass broken on the inside, and nobody really ever questions somebody crashing in through a Luthor Corp window. But this one, of course, shows him having crashed out, which is ultimately we could replace that glass 4 years later when Lionel is pushed to his death out the same window by Lex after this scene. This is one that I always thought I love juxtaposition, especially in a series like this, and it's something I wish this show had done, especially in its final 3 seasons, was call back a whole lot more to what made it the show that drew people in. Because if you were watching in season 8 and 9, chances are you were watching in seasons 2 or 3, or at least you picked up somewhere along the way. You didn't jump in. It wasn't Days of Our Lives. You didn't just jump in one day and then go from there and figure out as you went, really. The scene where Lex, and I know the scene in the finale when Lex and Clark talk is reminiscent of a bunch of things, but I always kind of wished I took it more as a callback to Phoenix, as that scene between them in the driveway, and I wish in some ways that was further pulled from that. Like if I had the chance to redo the finale and keep the same story, I know a lot of people have issues with the way things wrapped, but I would have done so many more callbacks to the series. That one of the things that ticks me off so much, and it's just my OCD taking over, is at the end of part 1 going into part 2 when Clark and Martha and Jonathan are in the loft and they see Apocalypse and they all hug. Why would you not have them in the same formation that they were in the pilot? When they find Clark and they're holding him, why would you not have them hold him in that exact same manner as he's about to rush off to become Superman finally? Like there's just so many moments like that I'm like, you could have really driven home. I mean, throw subtlety out the window if you want to. The show was never accused of being subtle ever. But no. I feel like there's so many moments you could have pulled from. But the Lex and Lionel scene in the burnt down Luthor Mansion in the finale, I always kind of felt like was a callback to this, because when Clark's got his back turned to Lex says something, Clark turns and says Lex, and Lex says, "You still say it the same way." Just that with a little bit of surprise. That I love that line though, and that scene in the driveway where it's revealed that Lex is alive and that Clark is so relieved to have his best friend.
I like that. Those moments of like the true friendship between, it could be Pete and Clark or Lex and Clark. Those moments when it's everything comic history aside, they're two friends growing up.
Yeah.
They've been through some serious stuff together. Mm-hmm. But in those moments when they're not thinking about how to double cross each other. There's no skullduggery. There's nothing iffy going on. It's just two friends, and he got his friend back, and I love that.
I'm not classy enough to be on this episode. I've never in my life used the word skullduggery in just casual conversation, and
it's one of my favorites. Sorry,
I'm just not. What am I doing? What am I doing in my life when I sit down? If I can't just casually and like naturally use the term skullduggery, I've failed. I'm a failure at life.
No, you're not. Don't say that. Don't say that.
I am nothing.
Your new best friend's teaching you words today.
Right. Yeah, I'll say it. And the next time we have a conversation, when we will, I want you to surprise me and to slip that word into a conversation.
I'll do my best. I'll do my best.
You'll find a way. You've got some fantastic vocabulary that
I'm starting the clock now at 20 minutes, and I'm gonna bet that it's in. I bet that he works again before the end of
Not this one. That's cheating again. And that technically is skullduggery. So I like that. So it's there. Now it's in my head, and I'm going to think about it. But no, I won't allow it. Just for the next episode. It's a good word. But yes, Clark and Lex as friends, I love that trope. It's something that I've enjoyed a lot over the years.
I enjoy when they do that. I don't always like it. I don't think it needs to be a constant. It's not like Clark comes from Krypton. Like, it's not one of those things that I think needs to be absolute canon. But when it does happen and it's done well, and let's be honest, this is the most well it was ever done. Most well? Is that...
Yeah, the wellest.
The wellest.
The wellest.
The wellest.
The wellerist.
The welliness.
The wellerist. That's it. Way.
The best it was ever done.
The best it ever twas. There was no skullduggery? No. See, that word sounds weird coming out of my mouth.
You can't force it now. It's got to be natural.
That's fine. We find out that what Morgan Edge was after, what he had Clark steal from Lionel's office, was the vial of blood.
Yes.
Which Lex originally stole from. This is almost as hard to keep up with as the Kryptonian key is. So,
well, Helen took it from Clark when he was sick.
Yeah.
Lex stole it from Helen. Lionel stole it from Lex. Apparently, after Lex was dead.
Lex gave it back to Helen and confessed.
Lex gave it back to Helen.
Yes.
So apparently, Helen turned it over to Lionel.
Yeah.
And Lionel then had it stolen from him by Morgan Edge.
And then Morgan bought off Helen. So
it's been about.
And then Jonathan just throws it on the ground and shatters it.
It's just like the dark side of Metropolis, man, just gets into people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Metropolis needs a Superman in a bad way.
We're getting there. Give it time.
Yeah.
Ultimately, and I think we talked about this in the last episode, Lex makes amends with Helen, decides to give the honeymoon another go, and I'm like, I wouldn't get back on a plane right now.
Not for a while.
If I were
Not
you.
for a while, at least. You can have a little bit of therapy in between flights.
And pretty much the same sequence plays out all over again. This time the pilot being shot because Lex has discovered that she was the mastermind behind all of this, that she landed safely at St. Croix, and that they would have never had enough gas to land where Lex did, on the island. So,
I mean, talk about skullduggery.
I'll take it. I'll give you half a point. Skullduggery would be giving the pilot a backpack that's got no parachute in it. That's some serious skullduggery. But yeah,
indeed, absolutely.
More you know.
But yeah, getting onto if anything, you wouldn't go onto another private jet after that sort of traumatic experience.
No, and then
you would go commercial for sure.
And then we don't even really know. I guess he pilots the plane himself just fine. It just cuts to him back at the mansion later.
Yeah, that's something they dodge that.
In television and movies, there's this thing that happens where you can get on the radio and they'll bring a pilot to air traffic control to they'll teach you how to pilot, very quickly.
It's a damn good thing he doesn't realize how much I hate his guts.
Grand service.
I mean, even the Hulk did it. The Hulk, the plane was not stopping and the Hulk was there. Bill Bixby turned into the Hulk and stopped the plane, in that
The
episode.
Hulk
of Incredible
flew an airplane in an episode of The Incredible Hulk.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He didn't fly it. He landed it, and the brakes were out. And so he's pushing on the brakes, and he's getting madder and madder, trying to pull back on things because the hydraulics are out. So he turns into the Hulk, and he's able to pull back on everything he needs to pull back on and press down like he needs to and stop the plane. And then he just jumps off the plane and runs away.
I was going to say, would he not just rip the steering wheel off? Why would he not just Fred Flintstone the thing, push his feet through and stop on the runway?
It was too high up.
Too high.
Yeah.
That's what held him back.
That's what it was, yeah.
Season and episode number of that one, Steve?
I will let me
Oh, come on. You know that from memory. Don't
this is what impresses me, not long words, but facts like this. You've got a wonderful brain that's memorized so much about Smallville, but other shows as well. This is what impresses me.
It's the title of the episode is 747.
Oh, well.
No.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. And it is
no.
That's a skill. That's a skill.
And he tries to, like, the whole thing is he's fighting turning the thing. Like you see him literally fight turning into the Hulk more than you ever see it.
Well, yeah, you don't really want to do that on an airplane or a submarine or wherever else.
Well, he's on an airplane. It features stock footage from Airport 1975.
Of course it does.
Yeah.
As most things did with air traffic back then when there was
I'm finding this after.
There you go.
I'm getting my book out.
The episode is titled 747.
Season
747.
I'm trying to find out right now. It was 1978, so it might have been in season 1.
I need to find.
I'm giving you time to vamp. Season 1, episode 5. They didn't waste any time.
Yeah.
It's the 5th episode of the series.
That's right.
The Hulk and a young boy must land a jetliner after discovering that some of the crew are plotting to steal the Egyptian artifacts on board. Artifacts is spelled incorrectly here. A lot of misspellings on this one. Well, there you go.
Listen, it's one of the greatest television shows ever to grace our TV screens is The Incredible Hulk. He does everything throughout the course of that series. He goes to Vegas. He works with a rock star at one point. He gets into the drug scene, dips. Voodoo is involved at one point.
We did get it on English TV for a while back in the day. I'm aware of a scene where he fights a bear. Sorry, I'm getting excited because you've got a Bucky's cup.
The best part of that is when he chunks the bear, and you can clearly see it's just like a bear costume.
It's like a blanket that he's just thrown off into the. Yeah, I've seen that. Now, as side note, and again, this is why you're going to get those ratings from reviews. Your cup is a Bucky's cup. Is that how you pronounce it? I am bloody obsessed with Bucky's.
Yeah,
I'm planning a trip to America just to visit one.
Well, listen, come to Georgia. Just fly into Atlanta. There's one There's one about an hour from me that I can take you to, and I'm not far from Atlanta. I'll meet you in Atlanta.
Good man.
Take Bucky's.
Don't. As a side note, I was watching about a year ago. I was watching a YouTube video about it. I was like, this is impressive. And then rabbit hole, and I learned about so much about what
was
they
it
do.
Jolly? Were you watching Jolly?
It was just, I think, just a random YouTube video.
Okay. Well, the guys from, I don't know if you know Jolly, they're based in the UK. The Korean Englishman.
Oh, I know. Yes, I've heard of them. Yes. But no, I just got into a rabbit hole and learned so much about. They shout something out when they put fresh meat onto a barbecue. What's it they shout out?
They say fresh brisket on the board.
Fresh brisket on the board. Yeah. Anyway, that's my American. I love American stuff.
You come to Atlanta, and I'll take you to Bucky's.
Yes, sir. That is an offer. No skullduggery will be done that day.
None at all.
Just friendship. And
that's right. And I'll even we'll cook for you and everything. We'll take you around and have some real Southern food. We can drive to Mississippi and see Derek too.
Look at that. Derek's broken there in the background.
Road trip to Mississippi.
He's just gone. I can see that you're ranking up a 1.5 rating now. I tell you what, this is the magic right here.
We'll get you some beaver nuggets at Bucky's, and we'll drive out.
That's it. I was trying to think of that. They're big yellow things, aren't they?
Yeah. We'll drive to Tupelo.
What happened?
Now you Brits don't like the very sweet stuff, but
I love sweet stuff. I had about 5 sugars in my iced tea.
Okay.
It's gone now. He's gone. What did you say? Bucalo?
Oh, Tupelo. That's where Derek.
Tupelo. See, these are fantastic words that I'm learning.
Well, that's the name of a town. Derek, I want a shirt that says, "I put 5 sugars in me sweet tea."
Sorry, I say me a lot. It gets people going. I was speaking with a young girl a few years ago, just messaging. She said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm on me bed," and she was in fits of laughter. But yes, that's the real Brit coming out.
I love sweet things. I put 5 sugars in me sweet tea.
it's Derek's gone.
What happened? I lost the thread on this one completely.
You did.
The other thing about the Incredible Hulk TV show is in every episode he keeps his first name David, but he always changes his last name. But it's always a B name. So he's always like David Brown, David Bronson, David Barnes. And it's now, and so because Lord knows no one needs to know that David Banner is still alive.
No, David B, bless him. Oh.
That's right.
Go on, Derek. I believe in you. Get us back on track.
I think Lex buys the farm. I can't remember.
Yes, he does. He buys the deed for the farm.
And that's not a euphemism.
No, he does not buy the farm for real. That was Tommy from Rocky V that bought the farm. Lex.
Yes, he did. He did buy them in the farm, and because Mr. Kent gave Lex a compass for his wedding present.
That's right,
and that got him off the island.
Which
I thought was a nice touch.
Ultimately, Clark is kidnapped and taken to Lionel because Rutger Hauer, Morgan Ash. I can't remember anything anymore. I have listen. As soon as Bucky's came into the conversation, that broke me. Absolutely broke me. The fact that you know what Bucky's is amazing. Morgan tells Lionel he's got the source of the blood and he can bring him the source. So they kidnap Clark and bring him in the truck. Listen, have they not lost enough? Now they've lost everything in because he explodes the propane. Was it a propane tank he uses heat vision on and destroys
propane and propane accessories. Darn it, Bobby! You know not to use your heat vision around the propane.
That's my purse. Give me back my purse. I'm a big King of the Hill fan as well, by the way, just to let you know. Oh, and I've broken both. Yes, that is a big win for me. I'm very, very happy right now, boys.
Listen, 20 years of this show, nobody has ever come on and broke both of us at the same time.
That's a win for Luke. That's a big win for Luke. Clip that.
Oh, man.
Steve knows my favorite King of the Hill moment. Don't you, Steve?
No, I don't think I do.
Oh, they tell, oh, God, I can't remember anything. They tell Dale, hey, you want to go steal a news van? And just off screen, you hear Dale, it's the perfect crime. How could they ever report on it?
Very underrated show. We got that for about a few seasons here in the UK. But I'm a big fan of inappropriate animation.
So go ahead.
Listen, well, you talked about him blowing up everything, but I don't know that we've given enough props to the scenes with Rutger Hauer and John Glover. Those two are just like, I'm going to chew the scenery. Oh, no, sir. I will chew the scenery. Nope. I'm taking it back. I'm chewing the scenery. Like right down to the tap on the glass. Like when he stands up and then he leans back down and he taps on the glass and be like, I've got the source. They're just they're not overacting, but man, they're getting right up there.
Yeah, they're two like big names. They've sort of they've been probably working in the same sort of fields for many years, but it wasn't a ham acting. It wasn't all over the top at any point, but it was just right. It were these two. They do untrustworthy very well, the pair of them together, but they also have that. There's a friendship there. They've come from the same sort of streets. They're enjoying, reminiscing, but they're bad boys.
They're loving playing the bad guys, both of them together, and just the tension between them and everything. You can just tell they ate up being together at this time doing this thing.
Anytime Glover, and that's one constant we've talked about on this show. Is anytime Glover's on a scene, it doesn't matter how ridiculous whatever he's saying is, he elevates it.
I'm locked in on his hair first of all. Then his speech, but he seems to just use his body language rather with every word. It's never. If you gave any of his lines to anybody else on that show, they wouldn't be able to replicate them in the same way. I love every moment that we got to see John do something special, and great.
Well, these two guys are the characters are just in a chess game of skullduggery with one another. They are just back and forth, and you see it. You get the tension between. And look, I'm sorry when he sits down next to him with just like that Lionel Luther grin. And he's like, "And do I need to remind you the statute of limitations on murder never runs out?" And then Rutger just kind of sits there with like this look like, but then he's like, well, hey, you're part of that too, So
they were two big highlights for those episodes for me. Those two together was a joy to see those two.
I'm still thinking about Bucky's.
Well, me too. Don't, because you're going to set me off. I know that I know I could spend at least 24 hours in one of their big ones. Brisket on the board. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, fresh chopped. Well, really, what they say is fresh, and they hold out fresh chopped, and it's chopped brisket, fresh chopped brisket on the board, and everyone hollers it back to them. Holler meaning yells. They shout it back.
I got it.
I've been in one. I don't get it.
Beating me. You don't ruin it for me.
It's
don't kill it for me.
It's a cultural experience. We'll go to Bucky's and then to Waffle House.
Yes. Okay. Now I've heard of Waffle House. I've never been to one.
I can do a Waffle House.
During the daytime, though, if we can, keeping it nice and safe. I've heard things happen sort of at certain.
The food's not good at daytime. What are you talking about?
Food's only good. It's only good if you think you might die. That's
really? Wow.
It's only good if you feel like it's your last. It's only good if someone's like really just tweaking out over in the booth next to you.
Okay, Bucky's first, then House of Pancakes. Okay.
Sure. No. The Waffle House.
Oh, Waffle House. Okay, I wrote
House of Pancakes is completely different.
Okay. Done. It's in my book.
So when it comes to that Hulk episode, Trash Gang on IMDb said, for me, this is so far the best Hulk episode. And maybe for some it's strange because the Hulk isn't that much to see here in this airplane disaster.
Good review. Solid.
Yeah. That's from Trash Gang. If you can't trust Trash Gang's review, who can you trust?
Exactly. Perfectly put.
Am I forgetting anything? I don't.
That's it.
You want to talk about loud music? That Dido song, that white flag at the end of this one.
I mean, Stereophonics though. Yeah. I'm a big Stereophonics fan. They did also release a song called Superman. But Dido it was that easy one to go to back in the day. It wasn't emo, it wasn't pop, it was somewhere in the middle. And Dido in the UK back then was everywhere, and I was not the biggest fan of that album.
I feel like this was the song that launched 1,000 ships. Like I can remember YouTube, like once YouTube came along and like people were editing videos, like this was a Klana go-to over and over again.
Yeah,
on so many different.
Life is for rent.
It's so loud.
And then she did that track with Eminem, so that just made it even more.
Oh, she did do a track with Eminem, didn't she?
Just went everywhere in the UK and the world. Good for her. She got some royalties out of that. Not good ones.
Well, this was fantastic.
This is great. I'm not finised yet. I'm just warming up. I'm just warming up.
Well, then you know what, buddy? We're going to be really good friends this time. When do you want to come on Geek Out Loud?
Whenever you want. Let me have some dinner. Give me half hour, and then we'll crack on.
Wait, I want to stick around and see what happens.
Oh dear!
Luke has been to Arkansas.
Yes, sir. I have been to Arkansas, Little Rock.
Hey,
I went to Walmart HQ back in the day. Just before Man of Steel came out, I went to the Walmart annual convention. I worked worked for a company that was part of Walmart. So we went out there on a sort of a business trip to see how the Americans do things, and it was an experience.
Nice.
And
that's it. Nice. It was nice. Wonderful barbecue. I've got to say that. That's my first time with barbecue, and wasn't what I thought it was going to be, but I was a big fan of it.
What did you think it was going to be?
Like here, if you have a barbecue, it's sausages and burgers. That's about it.
Okay,
sausage and burgers.
That's just a Tuesday. Like I'm literally tonight going to go. That's what I'm going to have for supper is some sausages and burgers off the grill. But if I'm going to barbecue, I'm getting like a pork shoulder. I'm getting a brisket. I'm slow smoking that thing,
Fresh brisket on the bone.
I'm not.
Now we've become best friends, Stephen. This is what I'm talking about, baby. Give me back my purse. Anyway, this has gone completely off the rails. Completely. I love it.
With your ship.
Oh, absolute pandemonium. This is beautiful. This is a wonderful thing.
There will be no white flag above my door.
I like how, much like Glover on Smallville, I always thought you were going to elevate this show, Luke, and you just you reiterated just the level we remain at.
I apologize.
No.
You got a bit out of me. I think it comes with the show.
It stays on brand. I try to do something different. I'm like, why? This is better.
I just want to say thank you, Luke, for not bringing up the level of the show.
I'm so glad that my appearance was as mediocre as you were hoping for. This is beautiful. This is doing wonders for my self-esteem.
Well, listen, excellence is overrated. There's something in the words of Richard Ayoade, or however you say his name. There's something about comforting mediocrity.
Yes,
that is just consistent and good.
Yeah, if you're too good, you can only go downhill rapidly. So yeah,
let's see if I can find that quote real quick because it's a good quote.
I shall stay in the middle. But no, this has been. We've talked about the show. We managed to talk about 2 episodes in about an hour and a half.
Yeah,
I think you've done very well. Broken Derek, it's great. This is amazing.
You have broken me, sir. You have absolutely. I cannot remember the last time I laughed this hard. Oh.
So what was it? Was it the Buckies that brought that out, or the purse?
Look, I saw Steve. Listen, I've known Steve. How long have I known you, Steve? 2007.
17 years.
17 years. I've known you 17 years.
We're coming up on our 20th anniversary in a couple of years.
So I know it pretty well. I'll say for have only. How long would you say we've ever been in each other's presence? 48 hours at most.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
hours.
Maybe a total of
72 hours we've ever even occupied the same oxygen. Okay. But when you said Rocky 5, I immediately looked like so on my Zoom, you're at the top, I'm in the middle. I'm Alice, you're Mike Brady, and Steve's Carol Brady down here.
Okay,
and that's a Brady Bunch reference.
I got it. Don't worry.
I was going to say, if you knew King of the Hill, I figured we were good. But
I always like the nanny on that program, or the maid, whatever you would call it.
Yeah. So I'm Alice. I'm in the middle.
There you go.
But I immediately looked down at Steve and the glittery in his eye. When you mentioned Rocky 5,
I'm very, very happy about that.
I knew we were in a good place.
When you start comparing the fight between Jonathan and Clark to Rocky 5, I'm like, there's my kindred spirit from across the
But then I heard your Bobby Hill impression, and I just lost it.
I'm very pleased with that. It doesn't come out. Funny enough, it doesn't come out that often.
Good. Well, I'm glad we gave it a safe space. Good grief.
Oh goodness gracious.
When will you be coming to the state of Georgia?
That's a very personal question. Whenever you want me. I'm planning on coming back to America next year for a few months if I can. It's going to be a very expensive trip, but it's one that I plan on doing next year for the release of the Superman film. I've got a few states that I want to get to. Bucky's especially now. See,
Well, come to Georgia because, here's the thing: you can go to Texas, and that's where the original Bucky's are.
okay,
But when you've got a couple, you've got one that's within 45 minutes of me here, and then another that's within about an hour and a half's worth of a drive as well, which in the States isn't that long. Maybe 2 hours to get to the other one, but they're both pretty good sized Bucky's, and they'll have everything you need, and they'll have the whole experience you want without having to get out into Texas.
okay.
Which
I've
is
only just all I did was the Texas airport. That's all we managed to do. But Bucky's is definitely on my list of places that I need to visit in America.
And then what we can do is we can hit the road over to Tupelo.
Yes.
And see Derek.
Does not make more sense for me to come there. There's less to do here.
I'm sure we can find something.
You don't want to go to Bucky's. We can take him to Elvis's birthplace, Derek.
I did take Steve to Elvis's birthplace.
Really?
Yes, that's here. That's Elvis is from here.
Oh, right. So how far from you is Graceland? That wonderful magical
about
place?
an hour.
About an hour.
Memphis,
Okay. See.
Yeah. So we can go. You can land in Atlanta. We'll go to Bucky's. We'll road trip over to Tupelo, which isn't a long drive necessarily, and we can talk all the Rocky stuff, get all the Rocky out of our systems, get to Derek, go see Elvis's birthplace, drive up to Memphis, walk up and down Bill Street, go to Graceland, and just let you soak in Americana that way.
It sounds like a dream.
And I guess see that Superman movie too.
That would help.
I hear there's one coming out.
I forgot about that part.
Yeah, that's the reason. It started off with me getting back to America for the Superman movie, but then other things happened.
Do you put that on a travel visa for the reason? Do you put Superman movie? What do you?
I mean, you could technically that's business and pleasure at the same time for me. But yeah, I would put down. What are you coming here for? Want to see a film?
You could. You
want to see a film?
I'm taking a movie.
I hear your American cinemas.
I hear you have cinemas there. I thought I'd come in.
You got them talking picture books. You got them. You got them talkies on the big screen. Oh, blimey, Mr. America.
I hear your American cinemas are really nice.
Oh, isn't it big? Yeah, I know how to put the accent on when I need to. Look at the size of it. Cool. They won't believe this back home. Yeah. That's how I normally speak. This is the podcast voice.
I don't know how to end. Steve, take us home.
Go on, Steve.
My favorite episode of The Incredible Hulk was probably Prometheus. It was like the season 4 finale, I think. And what happened is a meteorite that was irradiated with gamma radiations hit nearby. And so he's stuck in between transformation for most of that episode. And he's hanging out with a blind chick who had actually played a sick girl several seasons earlier. You'll also see a lot of Major Dad show up through the Incredible Hulk series. There's a lot of
Major Dad. Is he in the army?
I'm sorry. I guess you don't know Major Dad. That was a sitcom in America.
Gerald Rainey.
Yeah, Harold Rainey. He played
Gerald.
Gerald. I know some American TV. What's the nanny program? Is that Mr. Belvedere?
No, there's two different. You've got Mr. Belvedere and the nanny. Two different things. Completely.
The nanny is Fran Drescher. Is that
That's right? Yeah.
See, I'm good on a quiz show in England. In America, I've got no information.
President of the Screen Actors Guild.
There we go. And very nasal.
Isn't that Fran Drescher right now?
Yeah.
Derek's gone. He doesn't know what's going on. He's not sure if this is a fever dream or if
it feels like it. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. This really feels like I'm about to wake up any minute and go, well, that would have never been a good idea.
It's been perfect. We've talked about the show. We've had a little bit of sidetracking, only a little bit.
I should get Steve and Luke together. Wait, no, don't do that at all.
This is it. You said about it. I was happy to come on and just talk anything, but yeah. And I feel this has made it even more magical.
Well, I would tend to agree.
Everyone follow the Geek of Steel on on the social medias.
Also, the podcast of Steel. Listen.
Yes, that's coming back. Next week, bit of a plug. I'm speaking with Sal Abenanti and Ramsey Atassi, who are the filmmakers for the new Alex Ross Kingdom Come documentary. So that was a fun interview. So yeah.
Oh, I thought you were just making up words.
No, they're good words. I've had to remember them. I've been dreaming those words in my sleep, but here we go, yes. But no, this has been an absolute pleasure. I had so much fun talking with you before, Derek, and just shooting the shit, as they say. Bad word there. Have to bleep that one out.
Great.
But
Great.
Talking about
redo the whole show.
Of all the things that need to be edited out of this episode, that's the one. That's the moment.
Hey.
Oh, I apologize for the extra one.
Don't you
edit out.
Don't you edit out. Gonna harken back.
Stays in.
Gonna harken.
We'll do it live. I almost stopped. See, I cut myself out of that one.
Gonna harken back to the old uncut episodes we did back in the day, which we thought were just edgy and fun, but really it was just we didn't have time to edit. I also want to make. God Almighty! I also want to make mention. You just had board members from I can't talk, Luke.
The Siegel and Schuster
Society on your podcast as well, and that was a fantastic listen. I enjoyed that.
That was an honor for me to speak with all of them. They do some fantastic stuff, but to speak with Lee, who is a cousin of Joe Shuster, I was like, okay, I'm speaking with technically Superman's co-creator.
Royalty.
So that was that podcast was nothing like this one, but I've had as equally as much fun on this one as I did on that. It's it's all about the balance. So
I bet you were as starstruck with that as I was the time I had Stan Bush on Geek Out Loud.
It was a big moment. It was, and to sort of, I've been following them for many years, and as well as visiting a Buc-ee's, it is on my Superman bucket list to visit the Siegel House in Ohio, which is something that is close to happening next year.
Nice.
But to speak with those wonderful people, they do a lot of work. I'm a proud member of the Siegel and Schuster Society. I do carry around my membership card with me.
There,
I can see it on there behind you. Yeah. Love that. And they're a great bunch of guys, and hopefully I'm going to be doing some more work with them this year. Buc-ee's sponsor. Love
I didn't have the Siegel and Schuster card. I had to pull out something else that you
That's
might be
fine. Sponsored by Buc-ee's. That's where you got to get there.
Oh, I wish we'd have unlimited money and beaver nuggets.
I do have some beaver nuggets in the house right now.
Do you?
So are they chips? Are they like?
No, they're I don't even know if you have the equivalent of corn pops in your country.
We used to. It was by Kellogg's. They were a cereal, and I bloody loved them. And they stopped doing them because there was too much sugar in it.
Well, these are very much like corn pops, but they have a coating of like a caramel kind of coating on them. Crunchy caramel kind of coating.
Okay, so now you've got me. We're back.
I mean, like they're addictive to me. They're very addictive. There's a hint of maple in there with them, and so it's some good stuff. But I was trying to wrap up, Derek, by giving all the bona fides.
He's booking a flight right now.
I was like, you had me at cornball. I'll tell you what. I mean,
well, you're on the right show if you're looking for cornball, sir.
But you were doing a great job of wrapping up. Yes, the Geek of Steel. That's me.
All right, see you, everybody.
What about us? We have stuff to promote.
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't know our stuff.
Get your plugs in. Come on.
Thank you so much. Yes,
you're welcome.
Oh, God.
I don't know our plugs.
Okay, you can find us online at smallvillepodcast.com. We are on Instagram and TikTok at Smallville Podcast, and on Twitter /X at Shoe Smallville. I do want to remind you all about the Salute to Smallville in New Jersey, just 3 weeks away at the time of this recording, and yours truly will be there. And I have been asked to moderate something in some form or fashion, so I'll be on stage at some point through the weekend. You can also see Tom, Michael, Kristen, Erica, John Glover, Laura Vandervoort, and Aaron Ashmore in attendance that weekend. You can buy photo ops, autographs, all those kinds of things through Creation Entertainment that's putting us on. So creationent.com, find their Salute to Smallville page via their homepage, and buy your tickets now. Limited tickets remaining for that.
How do they know for sure it's Aaron Ashmore and not Sean?
They don't. Only that's why they're bringing me in. Only I will be able to tell you if
you are moderating that. That's fine, wonderful. If anything you're doing there gets filmed, I really want to see that and be a part of that.
Yeah,
somehow.
I don't know how that works. I know they do a lot of supernatural panels, but this is the inaugural, the first ever Smallville one. So I'm interested to see how it goes, and hopefully it will be the first of many because now they do. I think they do like 3 or 4 supernatural ones a year. It seems like so.
I'm going to try and squeeze in some questions for you to ask. So there we go. Right. Nothing about King of the Hill or Bucky's, but
please do. Well, you never know where it might go. I certainly didn't know where this one was gonna go when I woke up this morning, whatsoever. Anyway, and also find Steve at Geek Out Loud, the official podcast of GeekOutOnline.com,
and also with you,
and also thank you. All right, I think we'll just go ahead and do episodes 3 and 4 of season 3 while we're all together, and let's do it.
It's gonna make this a 5-star episode.
Everybody heard.
No, thank you.
All right, we will see you guys next time. Luke, thank you so much for joining us. Steve,
my pleasure.
Thank
you so much.
Steve, thanks for being here as well. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for having me,
Doctor.